Hello and welcome to Tracking NZ Driver Recruitment. We decided to make this video to make you understand how international recruitment works for truck drivers. Because many of you have been rejected for different reasons and maybe you don't even know why. To be successful in being recruited as a truck driver overseas, you need a minimum standard of driving and a minimum standard of presentation with your presentation letter and your CV or resume. And also you need to understand the type of truck driving that the world is looking for, because the European Union, the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, we are all looking for truck drivers. The wages are good, the quality of life is really good, and there are thousands and thousands of truck drivers from around the world applying for those jobs, and some may have it easier to be recruited than others. We'll explain you all this really fast in this video. I hope it helps. So yes, we are looking for truck drivers for New Zealand, but not just truck drivers, not any type of truck driver. We're looking for top truck drivers. We have a standard here, and we don't settle for less. We receive hundreds of CVs every week from truck drivers all around the world. But just a truck driver with experience, it's not good enough. We only hire drivers with the highest standard. You might be a skilled driver in your country, but you might not be considered a skilled driver in New Zealand. So yes, the world needs truck drivers desperately. A lot of countries are offering you a chance to immigrate as a truck driver, but you need to know what is expected from you in those countries. So number one thing is safety above everything. Number two is respecting all laws and regulations all the time, every time. Number three is to have common sense, lots of common sense. And maybe common sense in your country is not exactly the same as common sense in another country. You need to take that into account. Be ready to change your mindset. Number four, aim for zero mistakes every day. Focus on your job every second of every minute of every hour you are working. Number five, ability to learn. You might be a very experienced truck driver, but when you migrate to another country, there's a lot of new things, and there's a lot more than you think that you will have to learn. If you're not ready to learn lots, you're not a suitable candidate. And number six, working without supervision, being able to maintain the highest standard without anybody watching, just because you have to. It's part of your job as a skilled truck driver. As I said before, we receive lots of CVs from all around the world, truck drivers that want better wages, better conditions, a better life for them and their families. Recruiters, companies, they receive so many CVs. You need to make sure that your CV is a good one, starting by a presentation letter. You need to write a presentation letter and always showcasing your skills. Otherwise, you're not giving a very good impression of yourself. As a recruiter, we may ask you to send some documents, even some videos of yourself driving. We give you very clear instructions. Make sure that you follow those instructions, because if we think that you cannot follow instructions, you will never be selected to be a candidate. Ability to follow instructions to the letter is a basic skill for immigrating. Another basic skill that we're looking for in the people that we select is attention to detail. When you send the wrong CV or the wrong presentation letter, or no CV at all, or you send us back documents that we didn't ask for, and you don't send the documents we ask you, you lack attention to detail. And that's, as I said, that's a basic skill for migrating. So you will not be selected if you don't have attention to detail. So to select top drivers, we need to know what kind of truck driver you are, what you have done. If you don't send a detailed CV with the kind of jobs you have been doing, there's no way to know what kind of truck driver you are. You're putting it really difficult for us to select you. For example, you work in Canada. In your CV, you tell us, I drive pikes. But we don't know what's a pike. You send us a CV from Mexico, and you tell us, I drive fullies. But we don't know what's a fullies in Mexico. You work in South Africa, and you tell us, I drive superlinks. But we don't know what's a superlink in South Africa. You have to say that in your CV. What kind of truck and trailers are you driving, and the tonnage, the length of the unit, so we understand what's a superlink. All the details that have to be in your CV to have maximum opportunities to be selected are the types of roads you use. Are you in narrow roads, wide roads? For example, if you go into big cities, you have to explain that your route involves traffic in big cities. If your route involves mountain passes, mountain roads, you have to say that in your CV too. If winter in your country is hard and you have to go for a few weeks with icy roads, snow, heavy fog, you have to explain that in your CV too. So if we think that your CV matches the kind of drivers we're looking for, we will ask you most probably for a video of you driving. And look, if we see you getting in and out of the cab without using the 3 points of contact rule, you're going to be discarded immediately, 3 seconds into that video. That's because that's a basic skill we are expecting from a skilled truck driver. Also, there's only one way of sitting properly to drive. There's only one way of holding the driving wheel properly. If we see you in a strange position that doesn't look professional, holding the driving wheel in a way that it doesn't look professional for New Zealand, you're not going to be selected because you're not reaching a basic level. In that video, you need to be focused on your surroundings, focused on driving. We need to see that you're using defensive driving techniques, fuel-saving techniques all the time, every time. That's a minimum expectation. If you don't show that, you're not going to be selected, ever. So if we sent you the link to this video, it's probably because you didn't pass for any of the reasons we explained you before. If you're serious about migrating and you want to succeed migrating as a truck driver, you may consider paying for some lessons to make sure what defensive driving is and how a skilled driver behaves in a standard like New Zealand, Australia, European Union, USA, Canada. They all have a standard, similar standard. And when we measure you against that standard, you need to be there. There are also other things you could do, like checking in YouTube a lot of driving academies. They have channels in YouTube explaining what a good truck driver, skilled truck driver does compared to a non-skilled truck driver. They teach you the standard in those countries. And that's the standard you need to reach. Also in the internet, there are free road codes from the UK, Canada, New Zealand that you can read and see what is the standard, what they explain, what they appreciate, and what they understand by a skilled truck driver that you need to reach in order to be successful migrating as a truck driver. Remember, there are dozens of thousands of truck drivers all around the world trying to migrate to a better place. You will only stand a chance if you're an excellent truck driver. Regarding working in New Zealand, we select drivers with a certain profile and with experience in similar roads and similar trucks than in here, but also with similar driving culture. So it all feels natural and easy when they arrive and they adapt really fast. That means that a lot of areas in the world, in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, they will have it very, very difficult to be selected because trucking there, it's too different. The safety standards, the conditions, because then you need a lot of training to bring you up to the level desired. And training means time and money invested in you. And at the end, we realize that many of these people cannot really learn to drive any different. So yes, it's true, it might be really, really difficult for some to be selected. However, not impossible if you understand what we are trying to convey in this video. Because this video is for you to understand how things work in international recruitment. So we hope it helped you to reconsider your strategy, to change your mindset if needed, and to be finally successful in reaching your goal of migration. Remember, you will only stand a chance if you're an excellent truck driver. Good luck.